Friday. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday. End to your week. I was going to say start to your week, but end to your week. This is the final day of Master Your Marketing on Meta or Master Marketing on Meta 5-day virtual event. Let me know that you're joining live or replay by dropping hashtag live or hashtag team replay below. Today's session, we're talking about how to increase your yes rate. So your yes rate is people saying yes to you, whether that's yes to your offer, whether that's yes to booking a call, whether that's yes to your free training. How do you increase that rate and the variables that go into increasing that rate, as well as your Q's, and I will have those A's. You have the Q's, I have the A's. We will be answering your questions. So if you have any questions from any of the previous 4 days trainings, or as I'm speaking today, questions come up, drop them in the comments. I want to be able to answer them today. We've been doing short 30-minute sessions, no more, no less, to give you the value that you need. You want to thrive online, and more specifically with your organic marketing strategy here on Facebook. There are some questions that have already come in. I think there's around 4. I have them written down, so I'll be referring to those. But as I said, drop questions as I'm speaking. I'm Emily Dunn. I'm a growth and lead generation strategist, and I help my clients generate an overflow of leads without running ads. So no paid advertisement, but still generating leads daily for their service-based business. Let me know who you serve and what service you provide in the comment section below. I would love to hear, and that way, if you have a question, I can then refer to your industry or niche when I'm responding. I also run an organic marketing agency where we do done for you Facebook group growth and content creation, which supports you in building community, connection, and content so you can show up and be potently visible online. Let's dive into the yes rate variables. So there are 2 variables that determine your yes rate currently and your desired yes rate. And that is both quality and quantity. So some people are going to say numbers are everything. And so if numbers are everything, that is more referring to quantity. And then other people are more like your people will come to you when they're ready. And that is more speaking to quality. Here is where myself and my clients lie on this spectrum. In the middle, it's a balance between both quality and quantity, but understanding that it is not one or the other. Both need to be present for you to show up fully and have the best results possible. If right now you're solely focusing on showing up online and bringing your people to you that way through your content, yes, that can generate you leads. Yes, that can generate you clients, but is it consistent? Is it the volume you are looking for? Then on the other side of things, you can be having a lot of conversations, you can be hopping on a ton of sales calls, but if they're not your people, you still might not get that volume that you're looking for. So right now, I want to think about your current results. What are you currently receiving versus what you want to be receiving? And I'm thinking more from a lead flow perspective. So what is your regular lead flow looking like? We talked about this on day 2 and 3. We talked about this. I think more so day 3, where we talked about, is it never? Is it weekly? Is it inconsistent? Is it daily? And is your current flow of leads enough to supply you, considering your conversion rate, to reach your goals? So by knowing your conversion rate, your average conversion rate, you know, okay, if like 30 people sign up for this, approximately this many people will convert. Therefore, you know how to back into your numbers, right? If 20 people convert out of, let's say, 200 for you, or let's make it easier, 10 out of 100, same thing, that's 10%. You have a 10% conversion rate for whatever that thing is. So you know, okay, if you want 10 clients, you need around 100 people into that thing that converts at 10%. So that's how you back into the numbers. But here's why numbers are important, but they aren't everything. Because if 100 of those people are invited, but all 100 are not quality, then it doesn't matter if your conversion rate average is 10%. Zero could convert from that 100 because the quality is lacking. So this is where we want to balance of making sure we have quality leads, but we also have a sufficient amount of volume of leads so that you're not just depending on the right people coming to you and hoping, that they show up, and just trusting that, okay, they're going to show up when they're meant to show up. So how do you do this? You diversify your lead streams and make sure these lead streams are in alignment with who you're wanting to work with. So if you are doing a lead stream, let's say it's a freebie, and your freebie is how to get started with, let's say you're a fitness coach, how to get started with your fitness journey or something like that. And your ideal client is somebody who's already well on their way in their fitness journey. Well, those aren't going to be quality leads for you because your messaging, right, that freebie isn't in alignment with who your ideal client is. So I just did a post on this talking about the client avatar and understanding the education level of your client. What happens, and what I've been doing in the past, was I fell into this trap of watering down my content. And so I made it so simple because people were saying, simplify, simplify, simplify. And so I was making it so simple to the point where it was speaking to everybody, which in return was deeply speaking to nobody. I was making it so like easy to understand for everybody that anybody that doesn't know anything about marketing, business, whatever, would be able to understand my content. How is that meant to speak to my person if I'm speaking to the general population? It's not. So think about what education level, like what knowledge, what state of being does your ideal client need to be in to succeed with your service? So when somebody comes to you, what does their mindset need to be? What experiences do they need to have already had to succeed with your service? And you want to make sure your content, your messaging, and your conversation, your freebies and your paid offers are in alignment with the educational level of your ideal client when they come to you. Give me a thumbs up if that is making sense. Is that making sense to you? So, let's say you are talking to, like the example I did in my post. You are a health coach and you help people that have already been following a ketogenic diet for a few years, right? And then you put out a post on how to get started with the keto diet. Is that speaking to the educational level of your ideal client? No, because that's speaking to a beginner. That's speaking to somebody that hasn't done keto before. When your ideal client is somebody who already knows how to start keto. So, for example, I used to explain, what does organic marketing mean? Like I would specify, like people would say, "Oh, what's organic?" And so I'd water it down to the point where it's so simple that it's no longer speaking to my ideal client. My ideal client already knows what organic marketing means. My ideal client already knows what lead generation means. My ideal client knows what it means to run ads or not run ads. They know what client acquisition means. They're aware of the CRM options out there. So think about the state of being of your ideal client and make sure you're speaking to them and you're not speaking at a level that isn't where they're at. You need to meet them where they're at in their level. Great, I'm seeing thumbs up, making sense. So, what does that have to do with increasing your yes rate? Well, when you speak to your people and you speak to them where they're at and you're specific in that, the people that don't understand your content disqualify themselves. So when somebody's reading my post and my post is for my ideal client, people that aren't my ideal client are not going to understand some things, and therefore it becomes irrelevant to them and they tune out. So they disqualify themselves. And so that way, the people reading through your content or your sales page or watching your live tune themselves out because it's not relevant to them, because you're speaking to your people. So that's going to increase your yes rate, because the people that actually end up following call to actions end up being more quality leads, because you're no longer speaking to everyone. So that's how, just through your content, you can generate more quality leads, is speaking where they're at, knowing that they are educated in your space, right? If they're a beginner, speak to the beginner. If they're intermediate, speak to the intermediate. If they have a decade of experience in what you teach, then speak to them like they do. So don't dumb down the content to oversimplify to the point where it no longer becomes valuable to your ideal client. That is a mistake I see. That's a mistake I've made in the past. Make sure you're speaking like the expert you are to your desirable ideal client, and somebody that's at that education level that you want to speak to. Now, quality, quantity. So that would be a quality factor. Now, quantity is more so about the first steps, the visibility, the marketing strategy. So we talked on day one about the visibility, how to actually be seen by these people. Now, to be heard by these people is what I just talked about, is to speak to them. If I am, let's say, a native Spanish speaker, and I'm out there and I'm speaking in Spanish, and my ideal client understands Spanish, they're going to understand my content. It's going to resonate with them. Versus if I'm speaking Spanish and somebody's reading it that doesn't speak Spanish, that only knows English, they're going to tune out. They're going to disqualify themselves. So you're going to have more quality people because you're speaking to the people that understand the way you communicate. So make sure you're speaking to your people. That is through content and through conversation. For the people that you're getting into conversation with, for the people that you're getting on sales calls with, are those people your people? Because you can have 1,000 conversations, but if you're having 1,000 conversations with everybody, you don't even get to know them. You don't even know if they're a potential client or not, because you're speaking to everybody. Then your yes rate is going to be quite low, because only a small percent of those people are likely going to be your people. Versus if you have qualification factors where you can identify clearly who your potential clients are, then you're going to have a volume, right? You're going to have enough volume of those conversations. Plus, you're going to have quality conversations, and therefore your yes rate is going to be higher. Right? Let's say I talk to 100 people, and the first round I'm talking to 100 people, and there's people that speak, like, it's 50 different languages. Okay? And so only a small percent of those people I can actually clearly communicate with. That's going to be the conversion rate. Versus if I talk to 100 people that are all speaking the same language as me, my yes rate is going to be much higher because there's clear communication between us. They can see the value. This language, of course, is just an example, an analogy for what it's like to communicate with your people versus not. Not everybody's going to understand you. Not everybody's going to understand the value that you provide, but your people see the value. This is when you create an offer. Your offer is not for everybody, and not everybody's going to value your offer. But your ideal client values your offer, and therefore they invest without objection. So, understanding how to communicate through your content and through conversation, whether it's in the DMs, whether it's replying back and forth over email, whether it's a sales call, it's essential. Communication is essential. What are you doing right now in terms of volume? Content volume, email volume, DM conversation volume, sales call volume, all these things have a volume to them, right? You could be doing zero. You could not be posting. You could not be DMing. You could not be emailing. You could not be doing sales calls. Maybe you're sprinkling in some of them. And how consistent are your numbers? Looking back about what we talked about this week with your schedule, is your calendar, is your day-to-day activities in alignment with your goals, your vision? Does this align? If you look at your calendar and you notice you're refining your presentation or you're redoing course videos and all this back-end stuff, is that actively a lead generation or sales activity? No. So you're not going to be acquiring new clients by doing this back end work, by perfecting your offer and all of these things. So think about quality as your ability to clearly articulate the value you provide and communicate it by speaking the language of your ideal client, not watering down your content, speaking to them like they're smart because they are. And then think of quantity as the amount of activities you're doing on a day-to-day basis that are lead generation or sales activities. Two factors, quality and quantity. So when you are able to both ramp up both of these things, you get more clear on your messaging and you improve the way you can articulate the value you provide, and you're doing more activities, you're doing more volume activities for the lead generation and sales activities. Both of these things ramped up, guaranteed to increase your yes rate than what you are currently doing. This is when you get hyper focused on the things that move the needle forward in your business. For my, like in terms of actual strategy, myself and my clients, I call it the this or that method. So this is just one example of a strategy to increase a yes rate for a post or a DM conversation. And it's about giving options. So people are no longer interested in you telling them what they need. People don't want you to tell them what they need. They want things, they want to buy things, but they don't want you to tell them that they need to buy things. And so with the this or that method, it's all about giving option. It's not saying go here, it's saying which route would you like to go down? When you give people options, you're putting the power into them. You're empowering your leads rather than looking down on your leads. You want to uplift your leads so that they can make an empowered decision to work with you. There's two kind of scenarios that people go into investments with. Either they need it or they want it. When you hop on a sales call or you have a DM conversation with somebody, they could be like, yeah, okay, let's do this. Like, here's my card. Or there's the person that's like, I cannot wait to get started. I am so, so excited. This is scary for me. This investment definitely stretched me, but I'm like so ready. Completely different energies. And who do you think is going to see better results with your service? Of course, the person that actually wants it for themselves, a person that's not coming from a place of lack, person that wants this to elevate them, not save them. Give them options rather than saying, you need this. Empower your leads rather than look down on them. Let me know any questions you have. We are 19 minutes in, so we have 10 minutes for the Q&A, and I have the questions that are pre-submitted. So I'm going to Go to this right now, read these questions, answer these questions that are pre-submitted, and then I'll hop back to the chat to answer any questions you have. Okay, where do you get to know the updates for Facebook? So this is regarding day 3 when I talked about like the professional mode, the hidden features, all of that. So when you go to your Facebook dashboard, where all the options are like page, professional mode, all those things, if you click on them and scroll down to the bottom, like on professional mode, you scroll down to the bottom, it says like a professional mode guide, and that's where you'll find a lot of those updates. So it's right within Facebook that you can find those Facebook updates, and or just simply Google on Facebook updates, and then it will give you like a back end, and there's so many articles on updates that they're making. Okay, do we need to post on our business page if we are consistent with our personal profile? So, when I talked about the 3 different channels of Facebook, your personal profile, your business page, and your group, I recommend having all 3. The reason why I still think you should be focusing on posting on your business page is because, first of all, there is potential for organic reach there. So, there is an opportunity for visibility. But if in the future you want to run ads, it's going to be quite essential that you have an already existing business page, because it builds trust with both Facebook and the consumer if it's an established page rather than a brand new business page putting out ads. Do we need to engage with people from our biz page if we are doing it from our personal profile? So, with organic strategy, I definitely recommend focusing your time on your personal profile rather than your business page. I don't do any engagement from my business page. Would it be beneficial? It would help my business page do better, but I would rather focus my time and energy on my personal profile because my organic reach is much better there. So I always want my clients to respect their energy and their time. And so I would focus my energy on engaging through my personal profile rather than my business page because I do not run paid advertisement. How do we build our visibility in other Facebook groups? That is an amazing question as well. So, the best way is to be insightful and provide value with no expectation of anything in return. So, when we show up simply from a place of service and a place of providing value, people see that, resonate with that, and then are going to check out your profile. So, if I go into a Facebook group, right, and I see a question about how do you generate leads on Facebook, I can either just be like, my Facebook group, like simple as that. Or I could actually give an in depth, a valuable answer, which people are then going to see. So, not only when you're engaged in other Facebook communities, your posts are more likely to do better in their communities when you post if you're an engaged member, but you can use other people's posts as well to give insight and show yourself or show them that you are the expert that you are by not saying you're an expert, but sharing knowledge, which in return you show up as an expert. So if somebody said that, how do you generate leads on Facebook? I could say, I utilize all organic marketing, which means I don't run any paid ads to generate leads daily on Facebook. I do this by optimizing the 3 Facebook channels, which is your Facebook group, Facebook page, and personal profile. I follow the 3 connection method, which is a manual group growth strategy to have people coming into my group every day that are potential clients. This way, I also can build out my other platforms and my email list, which in return becomes a lead generating machine. Da 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 da. And now I've given a lot of insight on how they can optimize Facebook, how they can start to grow their group, rather than just saying, my Facebook group is how I generate leads. So, actually sharing your value, what you know, is going to position yourself as an authority and an expert in your space without saying, I'm an authority, I'm an expert. So, that is huge. Another thing is having connections with the community members. So if somebody is posting, right, if you want to be active in a community, don't just post your post and then leave. engage on other people's content, encourage other people, build relationships, because this is in return going to help you get more visibility in that group. Plus, people like to mirror the way you show up for them. So if you show up for someone in a certain way, if you're engaging with them, they are more likely to be engaging with you as well. It's like human nature, we mirror each other. So that is how you can post in other people's group and gain visibility in other people's group. There's also this thing which some groups have on and some off, a questions tab. So at the top of a group, if you go to the top of a group, it will say questions. If you hit on that tab, then you'll be able to see the questions that were asked in that community. So that's going to be really helpful if it's a very large group and there's a lot of posts going in. You can then get directly to the questions people are asking and share your area of expertise through those questions by answering those people's questions. Second little tip here is there is this thing called anonymous posting, which means you can put out a post in a group, but be anonymous. So you may have seen this before. It's just like a blue little icon. It says like anonymous. And so when you respond to those things, you're anonymous. So you could put out an anonymous post. You could have a team member put out an anonymous post, and then that way you can show up as an expert by answering those questions and sharing your knowledge. So, any other questions, comments, let me know here. Hello, hello. I have an email list and I'm definitely not utilizing it well. Well, emails are not dead. They're definitely not. And I know a lot of people struggle with consistency with their email marketing. So I would first look at what are you already doing? What are you already creating? And just be repurposing that to your email list. Is that the absolute best email marketing strategy? No. Is it better than not sending your email list emails? Yes. So if you're posting YouTube videos, or if you're doing lives, or if you have a free event coming up, or if you have a free PDF, rather than just having that sit around, utilize the resources you already have and send out an email. A lot of people have mindset blocks around email as well. So definitely let me know if you want email subject lines that are increase your open rate. I have a free document on that. Like I think it's 10 or 12 that I have on that document that will help you increase your open rate of your emails. And then I also have a wait list for a monthly subscription for done for you emails and content, including writing and graphic design. So I have a team of, we have graphic designers, we have video editors, we have content writers on our team. And so if you subscribe to our monthly subscription, you receive emails and content done for you every single month. And that way you can be really consistent with your email marketing. So just let me know if you want that. Just say waitlist and I can send you the form to fill out to add yourself to the waitlist. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions come through. Let me know if there's any more questions. We have one more minute here. I hope you enjoyed this 5-day virtual event. If you have any questions for me outside of these 5 days about my services or working with my team, what that looks like, just send me a DM and say, hello, I'm here, I'm interested, and we can chat to see if I'm the right service provider for you. We do monthly services, the monthly subscription where it's done for you email and content, as well as VIP days. So VIP days are great for people that have inconsistent leads and only have 1 or 2 lead generation streams right now, and they want to inject up to 5 lead generation streams overnight. This also includes a full setup of your content strategy, its audit, strategize, implementation. So myself and my team support you to get that all set up. What would normally take 4 to 8 weeks, we get it done in 1 week for you. I think it is my mindset they say. I just see Facebook user, so I'm not sure who's saying this yet. So feel free to drop your name. I'd love to know. I think it's a mindset thing. I ask for emails when people join my group. And I think my thing for a long time was that I didn't want to abuse it, especially after having other people go crazy with emails, after getting mine, after joining their group. Yeah, so it's great that you've reflected on what you don't enjoy because you can take that experience and make your experience for your email subscribers different. The thing is, if we don't utilize the emails that they're giving us, we don't even have the opportunity to connect with the people that do want our emails. So there are a few different ways to go about it. You could send out an email and say, would you like, this free resource, or click on this button if you would like to subscribe to an email sequence about this. So it's about being transparent and knowing your people. Hello, Jennifer. No worries. Here on Restream, I can only see some people's names if you allow Restream to see it. So, yeah, I would think about your experience with emails. What emails have you enjoyed receiving, if you have enjoyed receiving any? I always like to start with value. So, for example, when people join my Facebook group, they get a list of 100 engagement boosting posts for their Facebook group. And I say that as they enter my group, I say, drop your email for 100 plus engagement boosting posts for your Facebook group. And so they drop their email. So when they subscribe to their email, I have an automation set up so that as soon as they enter my group through my CRM, they get an email that says, hey, welcome to my group. Feel free to introduce yourself in my group. Here's the link to those engagement boosting posts. So starting off with value. And I always like to say with email, they always have the option to unsubscribe, right? And it's nothing personal. I unsubscribe from people that absolutely love their content, from mentors of mine. Like, I love their content, but I sometimes just don't want to receive emails. And so it's nothing personal, and realizing that you are not forcing them to be on their email list. It is a choice for them to be on your email list, and they have that choice to remove themselves if they would like. It definitely is one of those things that it's like, get used to it. If it's out of your comfort zone, the more you do it, the more it becomes comfortable. The thing that's very powerful with emails compared to social media is when you post content on social media, it is one to many, right? It's not speaking to one person directly. Whereas email, yes, it's one to many as you send it out to your email list, but it's directly coming in one person's inbox. It's sent to them. And I think a lot of people have a mindset block around that. The fact that it's being sent directly to someone's inbox. But from a business perspective, that's an amazing opportunity to connect. And also, it can give you so much data. Like when I see people click on different links, I see, oh, this person has continuously clicked on these links. They're really interested in this topic. So I'm going to want to let this person know when I'm doing a live event, or if I have another launch for a certain product or program, these people are going to be interested. You don't have that data. You don't have your email data. You don't know about these emails on your list unless you're emailing them. So hopefully that you take that as encouragement and you send an email to your list today. That is my challenge for you. Send an email to your list today. I'm going to be sending an email to my list today. So if you're subscribed, expect an email. I hope you have had an amazing, amazing week and time joining me over these last 5 days. I will speak to you very soon. Have a wonderful weekend,